Yes, so I decided it made more sense for me to do this video before a Season 4 review, and switching up how I talk about South Park here will probably help me not get burnt out on the show so much. I don't really do movie reviews. Here is a movie review, and I'll be spoiling everything like I do in the show. The plot in this is the best in South Park so far. Let's go beginning to the end and make some notes along the way. The movie starts with a song. Okay, so the songs I'll be talking about more later, and possibly in a separate video too. The boys go see the new Terrence and Phillip movie, the movie being the best use of Terrence and Phillip in the whole franchise to me, along with Free Meme Isn't Free. Kenny dies copying an act in the movie. Well, that doesn't actually kill him, the doctors kill him with a potato, but the parents blame the movie anyway. Led by Sheila, the parents try to get Terrence and Phillip stopped, becoming more extreme as the movie goes along. They also plant a chip in Cartman that will shock him if he swears or says a no-no word. Meanwhile, Kenny is in hell observing the relationship of Satan and Saddam Hussein, and Saddam being the real arsehole there. While all of this is going on, Stan has to try to impress Wendy over the British kid, Stan being told to find the clitoris. All of these plots come together with La Resistance, the song, as the parents plan to execute Terrence and Phillip, which will cause a war, Satan planning to go to Earth and take over during the violence, and the boys and La Resistance trying to stop the execution of Terrence and Phillip with the help of the mole. Over the mole unfortunately dying, the plan works. Then Kyle has a heart-to-heart with his mom.
You keep going off and fighting all these causes, but I don't want to fight her. I want my mom.
Oh, the poor little fella.
Aw, happy ending full of misunderstandings. Nope! She kills Terrence and Phillip herself. War is declared, Cartman takes down Saddam by going overboard with the chip, giving him electrical powers, and Kenny saves the day by making a deal to make everything go back to the way it was before the war. In his first out-of-hood appearance, I might add. Okay, so the satire here, it's the best it's been up to this point in the show. This movie feels like the South Park I enjoy, having parents retaliate to no-no words with over-the-top violence because no-no words are bad and harmful to kids. Not only is this something that actually happens and is fucking insane, but it also helps mock movies and TV, where you'll have the swears muted or censored, but graphic violence, that's fine. The best example of this, in my opinion, is with Negan on Walking Dead. He's got a really shitty fucking foul cunting sailor mouth in the comics. But in the show, despite cracking skulls open with a bat and an eye popping out, in a pretty graphic way, no using the word fuck. This movie is obsessed with the joke of the adults being stupid, and with an abundance of them saying the wrong things. The entire Blame Canada song sums up this movie, with not blaming the doctors, but instead blaming a movie, and when someone responds to that, blaming an entire country for the problem. Adding to how insane some people go over swear words, this movie had 399 swears or uses of vulgar language used in it. Why not 400? Well, I'm British, so I'm sorry if I get something wrong here, but I believe if it went up to 400, then it'd change age ratings and become an NC-17 rating. The creators intentionally used 399 uses of swears, and not 400, to show how ridiculous the age rating systems in movies and television can be, and I absolutely love that. One of my favourite aspects of this movie is this, because it's never explicitly said, and I love little hidden gems of info like this. The songs in this movie are incredible, to the point where I like all of them at least a little bit. They're so good that I want to do a ranking on just them. Whether it be Blame Canada summing up the film as a whole well, La Resistance having everything come together, or the irony of It's Easy MK teaching kids not to swear by having a song full of swearing. I remember that I kept these songs off of my top 10 South Park songs list, because they're so good and it felt unfair, because there's already so many good South Park songs and it would have been even harder to find where these would have gone, so having a separate video feels appropriate to do. This movie is basically a big musical, and I love musicals and I love South Park songs. It works well for me.
So let's put all the kids together and unite to stop our moms, and we'll save Terrence and Phillip too, cause that's what Brian Boitano do, and we'll save Terrence and Phillip too, cause that's what Brian Boitano do, cause that's what Brian Boitano do.
Comedy-wise, this movie is very solid throughout. An unfortunate thing that comes with South Park is if the satire for a particular episode doesn't hit that well, chances are most of the jokes won't, as most of the jokes will link back to that satire. Fortunately for this show, it usually nails the satire, and this movie is no exception. That's not to say the movie is the funniest thing in the history of South Park. In fact, I'd say the humour is probably one of the weaker aspects of this movie. It's a very funny movie in a witty kind of way, and an analytical kind of way, but I do think it's missing some of the South Park over-the-top humour. Along with this, the boys still aren't all that developed, and I prefer evil and malicious Cartman over simple, dickhead, foul-mouthed Cartman. And as a result, I don't find him to be all that funny in this. In summary of the humour, the movie manages to land humour that derives from the plot, but not that much humour coming from the characters themselves. That said, any character this movie focuses on actually has a more clear motivation than in a regular episode, and while I think Stan and Kyle are still pretty damn similar, this movie grabs the current things that differentiate them and runs away with it. Cartman is foul-mouthed, it takes it to the extreme and puts a chip in him for being foul-mouthed. Kenny always dies, it takes his death and makes hell a central part of the plot. The main thing that makes Stan different from Kyle at this point is his crush on Wendy, so this movie adds a character for him to essentially try to beat for her honour and love. The main thing that makes Kyle different from Stan is his religion and his family around him. Sheila is really over the top in protecting her kids, but in a weird way, and the movie uses that. It makes Kyle want to stop his mom. Kyle's mom is a bitch. In terms of the other characters, the supporting ones I'd say are Sheila, Satan and Saddam. Satan is shown to be doing his job mostly because it's his job, rather than him actually enjoying doing it. His motivation is mostly just he doesn't want to be in the underworld. Saddam mostly wants to use Satan as his bitch to take over the world. Sheila is given easily her biggest role in the franchise here, and it works very well. They don't make her start as a lunatic, it builds up to the point where she's fine killing someone on her own. So while the characters aren't to the point that I love, and I wish this came out a little bit later so we could have more buses in it, this is the best characterization of any and all of the central characters so far. The world feels more alive than ever, and I think a large part of this is with the Quiet Mountain Town song. It makes it feel connected even though it does still cut from place to place. One of the best aspects of South Park Stick of Truth and South Park Fractured But Whole being the world layouts, though both of them have their cons and pros, but in general I loved those aspects of those games. The animation? It's South Park. It's not my favourite style in the world, but knowing what it took to put the pilot together, damn do I admire that work ethic. Plus, I do actually like this art style, they look enough like what they're meant to, and as a result, the characters stand out from any other show out there. Let's talk joke highlights for a minute. I love Operation Human Shield. South Park's jokes about racist authority tend to be funny because they really don't shy away from it.
Battalion 5, raise your hands. You will be the all-important first attack wave, which we will call Operation Human Shield.
Hey, wait a minute!
Now keep in mind, Operation Human Shield will suffer heavy losses. Battalion 14? Right, you are Operation Get Behind the Darkies. You will follow Battalion 5 here, and try not to get killed, for God's sake.
I love how during La Resistance, where Terrence and Philip are about to be executed, they just aren't taking it seriously at all. Them not taking any of this seriously is the funniest stuff we get from them in the entire franchise to me.
Tomorrow night up there is doomed, and so I will be going soon!
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Paka. You're a bona-fide bastard, Uncle Paka. Looks like we may be out of luck. Tomorrow night, we're pretty fucked.
For jokes that didn't land well for me, mostly Saddam's sex ones and any with Stan in this one for me, even if I did appreciate Stan having a solid motivation in this movie. So in summary, yeah, this movie's a great experience that I recommend to anyone that likes South Park. It's got good satire, it's got amazing songs, it's a huge stepping stone for the show, and it just feels superior to anything we've gotten so far from the show that I have reviewed. I don't quite love it as I do have enough issues to prevent that, like finding the Stan stuff relatively dull, and not finding the movie all that laugh out loud funny, even if it is funny in a witty kind of way. Also, if they do another full movie, I want more buses. Overall, I really liked this movie and consider it the best thing so far, because while I really liked the Christmas Classics episode, this movie had more of a goal with story, which makes it riskier, and yeah, it nailed it for possibly the first time in the show up to this point for me. I really like it. I feel kind of weird doing this, but I might as well. Tell me your thoughts in the comments on this movie and consider subscribing, that'd be swell. I hope you're looking forward to the season 4 review in like 14 years time.
It's not as if I don't try. I just fuck up. Try as I might.
That's all for this video, and until next time. Bye, I guess.
See the big Ah, fuck.